Welcome to Nevada Newsmakers. On the program today, Dean Heller has some competition in a Republican primary for CD2. Our guest today is that competitor, James Smack.
And now, back to Nevada Newsmakers with Sam Shad.
And we continue our conversation with James Smack. He's the Republican candidate for Congress from Nevada Congressional District 2, running against Dean Heller. As anybody could tell from watching the first portion of this interview, you are obviously a Ron Paul supporter. You carry a lot of his themes along with your candidacy. It has been fascinating to me to watch the enthusiasm and excitement of the people who have been supporters of Ron Paul. $30 million raised in just one day was one of the fundraising achievements. On a state level, and obviously with what we saw at the Republican convention and since the Republican convention, Ron Paul supporters are organized, they're disciplined, they have the tools, computers, printers, whatever, and have certainly given some concern to the old line conservative party in the state. Will you be able to raise up the money to be able to run a realistic campaign against Dean Heller, utilizing the framework that already exists in this country? Are people around the country going to be sending you money over the internet in the way that they did with Dr. Paul?
They already are. I've already been raising money. We are going to be putting together our first, I'm going to record my first radio ad this weekend. We're going to be getting some radio buys put together in the next couple weeks, and we are planning on competing, and we are planning on going head to head with Dean Heller.
How much money do you think you can raise?
I feel comfortable we can raise something in the high 5 digits to maybe even $100,000.
Okay.
Between now and the time of the primary.
And you don't think that Congressman Heller will be able to raise in the millions if that's the case?
I think he can raise some money, but I think in the meantime, I think he's still got a little bit out of focus. I think he's focusing more on his opponent in November, and he's not focusing on this primary. I think that we need to have a discussion of the issues. I think that Dean Heller and I need to sit down and have a discussion on our basic differences, because there's going to be a lot of places where Dean Heller and I are the same. He has had a relatively conservative record since he's entered Congress. He was relatively moderate before then. But there are some basic differences. There are still differences, and there are still bills that Dean Heller is voting to implement into action that are costing millions and billions of dollars. What he's not doing is he's not proposing anywhere where we need to cut to take that money away from somewhere else. So we're just increasing the deficit again, or we're printing more money to take care of the problem.
Mr. Smack, you're talking about federal issues here, but how do you beat Dean Heller on what he's done for his constituency? Your neighbors. I mean, he helped the people with the Fernley flood. He had the backs of people out in Yarrington and Smith Valley when it had to do with wilderness issues, and he was an immense help to the people of Reno in getting the train trench covered in downtown Reno. So when it comes down to helping your neighbors, you can't deny that Congressman Heller has been there for them. And how do you beat that?
Well, I don't think I need to propose to beat that. I think what I need to propose to do is I'd be able to match those kind of things. I think I could be equivalent in help for my Nevada neighbors as far as that goes, our Nevada neighbors as far as that goes. I think that, of course, there would have been things that I would have done as congressman to help the Fernley flood victims. Of course, there would have been things that would have been brought to my attention to cover up the Reno train trench that I would work toward. I'm going to be representing Nevada first, and I'm going to be taking many issues with the federal government second. That's going to still be my primary focus. I'm still going to have to answer the constituents of Northern Nevada at the end of the day, and whether I could do a better job of that than Dean Heller can. Dean Heller has done a fairly good job as far as helping the folks in Northern Nevada. I think I can do as well.
Let me ask you this. Jill Derby lost by 4 percentage points in the last go-around here against Dean Heller. If there is a brutal Republican primary, it could get to the point where both candidates are so wounded that Jill Derby takes it. What's your thoughts on that?
I don't think so. I think that having an open and honest and positive discussion of the issues is only going to help the Republican Party at the end of the day. It's going to bring Dean Heller and myself both into the news, and whoever emerges from that primary is going to be in a much better position to go after Jill Derby in the fall. I don't really see this going away from a Republican seat whether I'm running or not.
Now, you say Dean Heller, you hope to do as well as he did with his own constituents, like
certainly as well, if not better.
Okay. but you admit he's done a pretty good job for these folks.
Yes, I do.
So, if you're a voter, why do you change your horse when you know that you know the horse that you're riding is going to get you to your journey for basically someone who is brand new to politics, who they may not know, and you're not, and you didn't grow up in this state, so that those things mean a lot in rural Nevada.
Sure, they do.
How do you beat that, sir?
I go out and I attack the issues head on. I go out and I talk about the issues. I'm not planning on attacking my opponent. I'm planning on attacking the issues. I want to bring the constitutional issues that I have to bear and bring those to the voters of Nevada. If the voters of Nevada choose at the end of the day that I would be their better public servant, then I certainly hope that's the case. I do plan on winning this primary. But if the voters at the end of the day choose my opponent, the incumbent congressman, I will concede to my opponent, and I will support him in any way I can to get him elected in the fall.
Okay, lastly, you've got about 10 seconds to answer this. People really don't understand how organized the Ron Paul supporters are, do they?
No, they don't. We're organized, we're ready, we're capable of raising money, and we're ready to take this challenge.
Would you debate Dean Heller on this program?
Absolutely.
Okay,
anytime,
without
any
the
place.
office. Okay, pleasure to meet you. Good luck in your candidacy. We'll be right back on Nevada Newsmakers after this timeout.